Alrighty, hello everybody. Welcome to NGS Week 1. We are in a Division D East game, and we will be seeing I Must Feed versus Frank's Furters. We've gone throughout the map bands, getting players in the lobby, and we'll be starting soon. But before we do that, let's go through this intro and then probably straight into the draft after. Okay, cool. So we actually have some time to go over this really quickly then. We saw Frank's. Wait, no, sorry. I must feed. Blech. His names are gonna give me trouble today. I must feed. Banned Towers of Doom and Dragonshire. And Frank's Furters banned Alterac Pass and Sky Temple. Frank's Furters won the coin toss and decided to go for first hero pick. So I must feed decided we are going to Battlefield of Eternity for the first map. BOE is a fun map, I think. Always in a little bit of a balance between how much you want to commit to just straight up burning that immortal down versus things that may be better in team fights, because not all the heroes really give you the best balance. So it'll be interesting to see how our teams prioritize each of those. A lot of times you'll see things like Artanis, Greymane, Raynor especially, Vala, those big auto attackers prioritized pretty highly here. Um, but I mean, as far as other things, mages, Li Ming probably the most popular mage here. Li Ming able to poke the immortal from pretty safe places. Sorry, just make sure that we're all ready here. Um, but you see, I mean, you see lots of different mages too. Kael'thas, lots of narrow corridors, so you can see a lot of benefits from that. Um, I'm always a big Deathwing fan. Some people don't think Deathwing's good on this map. He doesn't really have a very good immortal burn, but again, with these corridors, you can do a lot of damage as Deathwing. So we'll see what the teams do. Both teams are ready. We should be starting up the draft any second now. There we go. Okay. There we go. For a second there, it didn't look like OBS was picking up the game, and that would have been awkward. Yeah, so we're good. So Frank's Furters again with the first hero pick. We will see what they choose to ban, what they choose to grab. Soul Deathwing are always common bans. Banning Tassadar. Alright, I have a mixed opinion on Tassadar. I think he pumps out a lot of damage, so that's pretty undeniable. He just seems really squishy. Li Ming, like I mentioned before, a mage who's pretty common on BOE. Um, wouldn't be surprised to see a Zul ban from I Must Feed for their second ban. We will see though. Let's see what Frank's Furters has given us. Frank's Furters banning Zul. They're not up, not even wanting to. Okay. Now, Garrosh ban. Okay, so that leaves a lot of the big immortal heavy hitters available. Raynor has recently been a pretty common pick here, but there's a lot of good opening picks. And we'll see what we have. ETC first pick. Okay. So ETC first pick. He's a good tank. Especially again, narrow quarters, you can get pretty big moshes here. Joe and Raynor from I Must Feed. Joe being a tank that fits into almost any comp. And then Raynor, again, the immortal pressure that Raynor can bring is pretty impressive. Frank's Furters, Anduin for the healer, and then Frank's Furters went for their immortal burn as well, which is going to be Zul'jin. So both Zul'jin and Raynor are going to be trying to pump out as much damage on the immortal as they can. Both are also, though, very strong in team fights. So I would expect, could see a, okay, top lane, off lane ban from I Must Feed, that's fine. Both teams still missing a really strong top lane. And Artanis, so both teams banning the offlaner. Alright, that's cool. Offlane's important. And after both bans in the offlane, I Must Feed deciding they're ready to pick it. Really started to try to squeeze out. It's not what you would often see as the squeeze, but I like to hear it. As an offline player, it's nice to see the priority there.
I'm here to help.
Jaina and the last pick should see something for the top lane there. Dahaka. Okay. Okay, so Dahaka is not traditionally what you see on Battlefield of Eternity, because it's not one of the bigger maps. Globals are never bad on any team, any map, so it'll work. I Must Feed needs a healer unless they're doing something really wonky. Yes, Tyrande. Tyrande, common pick on this map. Tyrande can put her trait on the Immortal, and that will lower the Immortal's armor. So her team is going to be able to put out extra damage on the Immortal. And then mages on both sides, Gul'dan and Jaina. Both strong, solid mages. Would be interesting to see how this plays out. So we get into loading up the map. Alright, so this is, I believe it's the first week. I don't think they've had any flex matches this early. So this should be the first match from both teams. Can double check that really quickly. Let me double check that, yeah. Looks like... Yes, this is the first match of both teams, so both teams going to be wanting to come out strong here. You know, both of them, I'm sure, are looking for the quick 2-0, really dominate the beginning of the season, show themselves a force to be reckoned with. We'll see if either team is able to make that happen. Let's see if we can get this to pop up. Yeah, so on the blue team, I Must Feed, we've got Miles on Gul'dan, Sudden Bears on Leoric, Lister Fiend on Raynor, Knight on Tyrande, and John Goodman on Johanna. And then over on the red team, Frank's Furters, we have Dallying Pig and ETC, Boggs and Zul'jin, DJ Cold Cuts up on the top lane on Dahaka, Indecisive on Anduin, and Magic Master on Jaina. Need to change this to, there we go. Sorry, I wanted to get rid of that down at the bottom. So really quickly, Frank's Furters going down here, seeing if they can get a pick, but Jaina was not quite in the bush. They're not in the bush. So I Must Feed saw them coming. Coming out of that, mostly unharmed. Giving Gul'dan 3 stacks to his Echoed Corruption, which is not ideal, but not the biggest thing. Doesn't do anything until he gets fully stacked, so... Good double stun from Tyrande, stun to pick out Raynor there from ETC, but Sharonda able to keep the heals up. Anduin should be able to keep up pretty good heals as well, especially full mana bar, so just give him time and he'll heal up too. 8 stacks already on Gul'dan, less than a minute in. That's pretty good. He'll be happy with that. Oh, double stun again, ETC getting low. At the top, both Leoric and Dahaka also getting low here. Dahaka going to want some essence, taps instead. I Must Feed decided to go for the bot camp. Yeah, Furters saw it. I Must Feed knew that Furters saw it. So that was always going to be a little bit hard. Trying to go in for the Joe, but Joe's going to be a hard one because she has Unstoppable on command. Lots of damage on Tyrande. She's low. She's going to almost certainly tap. Yep. And try to heal up. During this, Raynor came up to grab these top mercs. It was close to dying, but got the spooky hand. So does survive. At this point, Leo should probably take some time to heal while Raynor's up and can cover the lane. But instead trying to hang out. Furters, knowing that I Must Feed had only 3 bottom, took the opportunity to steal their camp. Good decision on their part. So this is 1-1 on camp so far. Time I see 220, so I would expect going for the Bruiser camp soon. So see, just again, these skirmishes really just testing the healing output of their healers. Both sides have stacking quests, so Jaina, though, probably a little bit lower than she would like to be at that point. But Zuljin, we can see, yeah, 5, okay. Both teams going for their camps. Dahaka still working on clearing the camp top. Tap taken from several of the members on both sides. Looks like Leo's going to position and start burning the Immortal down. Gets hit by that stun, which is awkward, but and then repositions because their team's not there. Zul'jin all alone doesn't quite get caught in Joe's stun, so it saves that. Also noticing we could see a life drain build from cooldown. That's not super common. Leo, does he have spooky walk? Oh, missed the spooky hand. And walk may have been on cooldown, or he just may have been stun locked. So first kill goes to Furters. Leo will be back very shortly though, and spawning right back up on the battlefield. So if they had to lose someone, that was the person to lose. Jaina low on HP, low on mana. Zuljin gets stunned and dies. So 1-1 on kills now from both sides. Jaina though having to go back and just looks like she's gonna tap right now. So I Must Feed taking that opportunity. They got a kill. They push Jaina back to get to the halftime mark. Mana bar is looking okay on the blue side. A little bit better on red. But we'll see. So this is Immortal spawn at the close spots. Easy to attack. More difficult to defend. But double stun again from Tyrande. She's had many double stuns here. Oof, look at that. Quad stun from ETC. That was beautiful there. And that led to a nice double kill from Furters. So I Must Feed still has the pretty strong lead on the Immortal fight. And because the timers are so short, they still have opportunities to come back here and try to grab it. But Zuljin over here, Bogs on Zuljin, gonna work on that. Starting to come in, blue team. But Leo almost immediately has to get back out. Got dragged in by Dahaka. Do have a level 7 talent advantage for Furters. The question is it going to be enough? And very close, but just a slight advantage on the Immortal over to I Must Feed. Taking a quick look at talents then, Prog Rock, Loudspeakers. Hammer On is not something I see too common, so just extra damage there from ETC on the auto attacks. Recklessness, Mighty Hide, but the armor. Increases attack speed. Nice. The Haka went for essence for minions. This is a nice offlaner sustaining build. Oh, ETC just slightly missing the Q stun. And looks like they'll just get the front wall and some damage. Not getting the fountain or the fort. But for the early first immortal, full front wall, it's nice. Jenny going for Frostbolt build. And Anduin going with Divine Star talents. Gul'dan notably only 3 stacks away from Echoed Corruption, before 10 even, so probably pretty happy with that. Life Strain, like I said, and then, oh, Gul'dan's in trouble. Oof. Got a little bit too isolated there and wasn't able to, with Tyrande and his own healing, couldn't quite keep up. Notably, Lyric not going for Neil Peasants, going for an increased slow. Yeah, Exterminator from Raynor, just a bunch of extra damage on the Immortal. ETC tried to zone there to keep the Anduin alive, but it wasn't quite enough. So 3 to 4 in kills, pretty bloody. We'll see. Immortal spawns, the Mortal Time comes up, and both teams go do their camps. I'm loving the timing on these camps. It's been just really on point for both teams. Let's hold your ground, the bigger shield. Nice. So we do have 10s now for both teams. Pretty close by, you can see. Just want to make sure Leo's not getting picked here. Nah. Oh, but Zul'jin may be in trouble. Has to pop Tazdingo, and still doesn't make it out with the Horrify. So a bunch of ults popped here. Tazdingo, Horrify, Hyperion. So you can see some of these. Horrify, Entomb was popped. Hyperion, Starfall was popped. Blessed Shield was the only blue ult that was not thrown out there for that kill. And thrown out just now. So all ults down for I Must Feed. Oh, there's the ring. Nicely timed to grab a chilled Raynor. Bunch of damage there. So looking then on Frank's Furters, yeah, Tazdingo. Okay. Tazdingo we saw. Isolation, which has gone out, but I haven't seen it yet. Holy Word Salvation. That's a brave one. That's not what I see very often, actually. So we'll take a look at that in a sec. Ring of Frost from Jaina. Mosh Pit from ETC. So Holy Word Salvation, you know, very strong, undeniably, but weak to interrupts. So if we look over here, Gul'dan has an interrupt, Raynor has an interrupt, not his ult, but just his Q. And then we know Tyrande has a stun, Joe has a couple stuns. You know, a little bit risky, but I guess on the flip side, they have 2 really powerful channeling ults. It looks like teams are ready, so great. 2 really powerful channeling ults. So they're really hoping if they get either one of these, where the stuns are off cooldown, that'll be big. They're not counting. I'm an observer. They're not counting on me to do anything. Both teams. Okay, there we go. All right. So we have in that fight, Raynor died. Most of the Red Immortal went down. But because Raynor's dead, Frank's Furters are able to take the advantage here and even up the Immortals, get a very slight lead. All the Merc camps have died, so no shenanigans happening there. Just all about the Immortal. Jaina had to go tap, so Frank's Furters really wants to back off just for a few seconds. Okay, now we're back to 5v5. Both teams just positioning. Assassins over here a little bit exposed. Oh, nice drag from Dahaka, waiting in that bush where Gul'dan couldn't see. I mean, Gul'dan didn't face check the bush, just got a little bit too close. Isolation out of Tyrande, so she's useless. Blessed Shield immediately out an Ando, so quickly I'm not sure if it was even intended. And then Raynor Q again immediately out an ETC. So the ults for Frank's Furters did not do at all what they were hoping for, but they still ended up with 2 kills to 0. So it worked. I'm gonna speed, on point with watching for those ults, but just the overall fight proved a little bit of trouble. Trying to get that Leo kill. The ETC slide should be enough, and yeah. That was really nice coordination from the team. Knowing the Immortals going bot, knowing most of IMO's feed is probably going to be bot, they rush up top. Get a strong split push, get a Leo kill. Good call by them. IMO's feed now, keeping Raynor down here to burn that down because he burns it the fastest. Sending the rest of their team up for instead, but they'll make sure that Frank's Furters doesn't get too much else with this. Now the big thing IMO's feed wants is to not lose the rest of bottom fort, and it's going to be tough, especially now with Frank's Furters coming down. Raynor, really good map awareness, so sees that coming and gets out. So IMO's feed lost both forts, but except for that early Leo pick, no deaths. So Frank's Furters is unlikely to be able to push much farther with this. In addition, Frank's Furters has no one top right now. Oh, they're going for kills here. Getting the ETC kill and the Ando and pull goes on cooldown. All while Leo got at least a wave or 2 top that Frank's Furters missed. Pushing in as 5 means that IMO's feed is able to take the camp and Tomb and a Tyrande stun will finish off Anduin. So really nice aggressive push, knowing when they have the advantage and really pushing with it. Frank's Furters tried to back out, but just not quite quickly enough. Tahaka, thinking that this fort's going to be a good enough protection, which is reasonable, burrows top to get that XP. So Frank's Furters gonna lose the fort, but not the worst situation because Tahaka was able to soak wave and a half, and hopefully get these mercs before before IMO's feed is able to come up. So they know DJ Cold Cuts is revealed and knows that they have to back out. But was it too late? Dodges the Entomb, Blessed Shield and Tyrande stun, but he burrows down with the heal. Oof! Oh, that was really nice. Had to put out the Horrify to stop the mosh pit. Tazdingo. Yeah, that went really well for Frank's Furters. It was great in invade, noticing that Tahaka was up there by IMO's feed. They saw that, they went in. Unfortunately, Tahaka just barely. He had a sliver of health left and was able to burrow and pop his essence. So healed right back up to full and was completely immune, which gave Frank's Furters the time they needed to come up and help. So Frank's Furters puts it to halftime, was thinking, I think, about grabbing the camp, but decided to just stay here, burn the Immortal down fast, and get this almost 100% full shield Immortal. IMO's feed on the other side, knowing we're not going to get barely anything on this Immortal. Let's get the camp. It'll push, I don't know, luckily bot. These are quite close. So it pushes bot while the Immortal luckily goes up top. So that's in IMO's feed's advantage, I would say. Like, the camp here is going to push with it, but IMO's feed blue is going to have, they're going to have their heroes up here to defend it. Whereas the Haka now has to come down here and destroy this camp before he can safely go back up top. There is a bush here, so he'll be able to burrow pretty easily. So both teams playing a little passive. Nobody wants to be the first to lose a hero here. They really want to get Raynor on that Immortal. If he feels comfortable, step up, pops Hyperion, and yeah, Frankfurter's red is packing up a little bit. It's being really passive here. I do feel like they could probably have been a little bit more aggressive. They want this keep. Looks like they're probably gonna get it still though, so they did the right thing. Yeah, there you go. And the Immortal dies almost immediately after. Oof. I don't know about Glorify plus Entomb. But regardless, both are looking good. That was a 3-person ring. Jaina dies to do it, but post-mortem kills 2 people with that blizzard that she threw out before dying. So she'll take that trade. In the end, it is a 2 for 2. Neither team coming out really ahead from that fight, except that Frankfurters did get the keep. Both teams even in levels, kills 9 to 13, so an advantage to Frankfurters, but not super significantly so. What is this button? I don't remember what that button is. Frankfurters decided to go down. They see on the minimap where most of Ima's feed is. So taking the opportunity, going down. Grabbing the camp. No other camp. Oh, there's the top camp up still. We'll see if any of them want to go for that. Oh, geez, 16, so Drain Life on... Drain Hope, sorry. Drain Hope on Leo. And only that one Drain Life on Gul'dan. He's been gone for a few other different talents. Amazed at a 3-man ring and a full duration mosh led for a 2-2. Yeah. Yeah. There's really good ults. You're right. Just wasn't able to quite pull it through. Oh no, Jaina out here. Has Ice Block, thankfully, which may be what she needs to, yeah. Another 3-person ring. Horrify used just to disengage. Hyperion just used to put out some damage. Jaina stepping out again. No fear. Both teams losing some ults, some long cooldown abilities like the Anduin pull. But overall, just coming out with no deaths. Let's see, going for the tanky heavy heroes. Those are going to be hard to kill. Oh, that was a 4-person stun from Tyrande. This is good. This Anduin ult, really just for the heal, is all they needed it for. Just a big AoE heal. Sorry, an itch. So, positioning, no one really able to come burn down that blue Immortal for Frankfurters. Nice drag to pull in Gul'dan with ETC in the back line. Johanna still almost single-handedly takes out Jaina. But that dragon mosh pit is likely enough to let Frankfurters come out ahead in this fight. Yeah. 3-for-1 trade there. So Frankfurters will take that. That was a really good coordination, really, from Frankfurters to get that drag out, and then have ETC mosh pit the rest of the team so that they could not help Gul'dan. So halftime reached, but also Joe kind of escaping the mosh pit, able to single-handedly take out Jaina. Really important. If she hadn't done that, Jaina likely would have put out maybe even a couple more kills there. So like last time, I must feed going for the camp because they know they can't do much in the Immortal. A little bit scary with Leo right there. Ooh. Oh, Leo's on their team. Sorry. I was so used to Leo's spying. Frankfurters taking the camp this time. This time the camp is in their favor as the Immortal's going bot. However, they already have the keep down in top lane, so this isn't like all the wave pressure here really only matters once it reaches the core. Leo, not wanting to let that be a problem, is going to go up and clear the wave, clear the camp a little bit. He has vision on 4, now 5 of them, so he knows it's safe. And that will give his team time to clear the Immortal. And then we would expect to see Leo come down here pretty shortly. And yeah, it looks like Leo's coming down now. So with that, still a full health Immortal, it's going to be hard to save this keep. The keep is dead. So the goal here from Ima's feed is don't lose the core. And we'll see what they manage. We have the Gul'dan ring to teleport to, not quite as far back as he'd like. Big blind. We have almost all of our ults up, so we want to see big stuff happening here. Immortal's dead, and Tomb goes down, which is buried alive. Uh, Protected Ring of Frost, double Ring of Frost goes down, triple Mosh Pit. Didn't last for long, but was enough to make the difference, probably. And Death Metal from Gul'dan. Anduin goes down to Raynor, who is just outside of Death Metal. But during all of that, 2 catapults and 1 catapult bolt bot was enough to burn down the core. So, good game from both sides. We ended with, what, 12 to 19 kills? So, lots of kills on both sides. Team fights are won on both sides. I think first Immortal went to blue, and the second 2, I think, went to red, something like that. And in the end, Red was just able, or Frank's Furters was able to just win kind of the decisive fights and get enough pressure to make it happen. We see pretty even. Zul'jin had slightly higher hair damage. Can switch to what stats? Slightly higher hair damage, but within the same ballpark here. Even though Gul'dan died, 3 times more, was still able to pump out a lot of damage. Raynor, Jaina following not too far behind. Heals, a whole bunch more heals from Anduin. Part of that could just be amount of poke damage, but that still is a solid amount of healing. I bet a good part of that has to be Anduin's ult, because he used his ult a couple times, really just for healing his whole team 25% of their health when they got low. Uh, it worked out. We hit 20s right near the end. Didn't really have a chance to go over most of them, but we talked about them a little bit. We saw the demonic circle from Gul'dan. Didn't come into play because Gul'dan died to the mosh pit. Buried alive, hit 3 people at the end there, which was really was the best, really good chance that they had of turning that fight. Wasn't quite enough, but made a big deal. Raynor getting execute just to really pump out the damage, similarly to Ronde upping up the basic attack damage. I've heard a lot of praise about this one ult too. Basically stunned the whole team for several seconds. Death Metal we saw, Dingo duration, Contagion, which I don't think it was this game, but can be a game deciding ult. Desperate Prayer, and Ice Blink. So we will, let's see, mark the victory here from the red team and wait to see what they decide to do. So I must feed now. So that's Frank's Furters victory. So I must feed now will have a chance to decide if they want hero pick or map pick. Uh, you've switched. Oh no. They've switched left and right, so that's going to cause problems the whole time. Glorious. So Frank's Furters has picked the. I'll suffer. Okay, I think they're gonna switch back. Anyways, so Frank's Furters picked the map. The second map will be Volskaya Foundry. Um, so if we take a look, Frankfurters won the last game. So MS Feed had the choice of map pick or hero pick. Like I mentioned, they decided to go for hero pick. Hero pick, often the most popular. The Cassid earlier game, a Div C game earlier in the week. Hero pick, I think, won every game. It at least won the first two. Sorry, friendly banter about flipping the sides and such. Anyways, so MS Feed going for the first tier pick. I wonder if they have something that they really want, or if they just value hero pick more, like is common. And then on the side of Frank's Furters, it'll be interesting to see if they pull out something special for this map, um, or if they just like it. We'll see. Full Sky Foundry often can have, kind of really long fights over a rather large area. There's points. Not as many walls or close corridors for most of it. Um, so it does change things a little bit with like Battlefield of Eternity, which is just completely filled with close narrow quarters. Um, and then of course there's Point C on Full Sky Foundry, which is basically Clown Fiesta mode. Woo! um, see what we see. Looks like both teams are ready. So we should be starting this any second. Any second now. There we go. Alright. Full Sky injuries. I must feed first pick. First ban. And we'll see what they ban. Be curious if they ban things specifically from the last game that they didn't like. Garrosh. Okay, so they banned Garrosh, I want to say second, I think, last game. I don't know, so long ago. So banning Garrosh again, not wanting to see it. Um, Frank's Furters banning Zool. Again, just one of those heroes, especially when Food has first pick. They're like, no. What did they first pick? So Frank's Furters first picked ETC last time. They had first pick, and specifically for ETC. But I must feed going again for Li Ming. I think those are the same two bands. Frank's Furters now for their second ban. What do they not want I must feed to have as their first pick? Tassadar. So I'm pretty sure same four bands, slightly different order, but same four bands from both teams. So those were clearly not map specific bands. First pick, Kael'thas. Alright, Kael'thas, pretty strong all-around mage. Um, as long as he doesn't go convection is my only request, but we'll see. Some like it. But assuming he goes Mana Addict, which is the most common, there's Trait too. But Mana Addict's most common. He'll have a beefy shield, a stun, pretty survivable for a mage that puts out that much damage. And in an ETC, just really wanting to get the ETC, which they're very comfortable with, and Anduin, who they also picked last game. Strong heroes in general, also possibly comfort picks, or just they think they work really well. It got him the win last game, so I must feed so far completely different. We'll see. Joe, so the same tank as last game, and Stukov. So we've swapped healers, which makes sense. Tyrande, although you can see her in a lot of maps, you definitely see her a lot more on Battlefield of Eternity, just because of her trait on the Immortal. Stukov is personally one of my favorite healers, so I'll be glad to see him get played here. Raynor banned. Strong all-around hero. Maybe they also just really didn't like it from last game. Raynor was pumping out a lot of damage. We saw he was top damage on the MS Feeds team. And for I Must Feed's third ban, Leoric. So they picked Leoric last game, but maybe given that they don't want to see it, they were worried that Frank's Furters would pick Leoric. Difficult to say. Both teams do still need an offlaner. Offlane's a little bit fuzzy on this map because it's pretty easy to rotate back to mid. The camps are also close to the offlane there. Falstad and Orphea. So Falstad is probably going to be the offlaner. Got a global, not the biggest map again, but globals are always valuable. And Orphea taking the place of Jaina from last game, and that's exciting for me at least. I think Orphea is a really fun hero. Recent patches have made her a lot harder, but... And then finally we get a Deathwing. Deathwing, a lot less common this week in NGS from what I would have guessed. But making it to the last picks there. I'm a big Deathwing fan. I think I mentioned it earlier. And then Sylvanas, especially if she's able to use her trait on the... or with the objective, with the Protector, can really magnify that a lot. And Rexar from DJ, yeah, Rexar was their offlaner last game. So that implies that Falstad not going to be offlaning, just gonna mostly be with the team. He may go Bribe. It's possible that we'll see Bribe, just to be able to grab the turrets really quickly on cooldown. Maybe you can sneak some turrets. You can do that because you can often have visibility on the other team. So swap into the game view, and we will load up this game. Getting some BM here from Twitch chat. Don't know what you're talking about. Deathwing is awesome, and you should be ashamed for even implying that anything however I may have butchered Deathwing play would have made a difference, because Deathwing is too cool. Alrighty then, hopping into the game. We've got over on the blue team, Miles on Sylvanas, Sudden Bears on Deathwing, Lister Fiend on Kel'Thas, Night Knight on Stukov, and then John Goodman again on Johanna. Very different draft except for Johanna for this time, for I Must Feed. And then over on the other side, we've got Dalian Pig on ETC, Boggs on Falstad, DJ Cold Cuts on Rexar going top lane, which is non-traditional. Who Indecisive on Anduin, Dalian Pig on ETC, Magic Master and Orphea. I think I got everyone now. Yeah, Lazy Hadger noting, yes. This is an offlane Deathwing. I do not consider that the best choice with Deathwing. Primarily because most of Deathwing's counters are often in the offlane as well, so you basically play into your opponent's plan if you do that. However, they didn't draft the traditional Deathwing offlane counters like Malthael or Leo. So we'll see how it plays out. Still not the biggest fan of offlane Deathwing, but he's just a strong hero in general. So Rexar now finally going down bot. I think Falstad picked up the first wave there bot, while Rexar was running down. Got a clash mid. Mostly just spending some MP to not get anything done on both sides. Just posturing, making sure they're intimidated. Deathwing going straight for the turret camp soon after it spawns, which is a great decision, and getting some help because Deathwing's not really the best at camps. Red team should hopefully be migrating down to that. Looks like Anduin and Falstad are. So Deathwing just gonna keep going here. Deathwing did take Dragon Soul here. Okay, so I generally like Protected for Deathwing on level 1, but that's often because you have really powerful Deathwing counters, and that nullifies them a bit. Um, so since they don't have a Malthael, a Greymane, a Leo, Karazine, and you're putting him in the off lane, the extra healing I can see. I do have Mana Addict, Netherwind, both common for Kale. Not the stacking quest, and not Merc Queen either from Sylvanas. Do have stalking on Falstad, which I want to say is maybe not super common, but I don't play Falstad. That was a good pull from Anduin. ETC got the stun there.
We've redesigned our trigger projector for combat in the Nexus.
Let's see. Prog Rock, Loudspeakers, same as last game for ETC. Easy Prey, Common and Offlane, and Animal Husbandry. That's a fun one. Okay, okay. Oh, Stukov going talents I don't see as often. Okay, alright. We'll see how that quest progress goes. So Rexar on this immediately as it spawns. Will miss the wave if he doesn't have a chance to come down here. And it looks like he is just giving up that wave in order to try to get them a few percentage, getting up to 20 almost. So Frankfurter is going to take a second, clear the minions up top, clear the wave mid, just kind of posture. Deathwing noticing that's happening, going to take some time, clear bot. Deathwing is going for the full like aggressive melee build. So far at least, we'll see. Skyfall on 7. Yeah. Actually, it works. It's good in general, especially if you're not facing Deathwing counters. And also since Rexar gives you an extra body, Deathwing is going to be pumping out some damage. Misha dies. Oh no! Whoa, this is tough. Deathwing and Johanna both getting low. But the only kill so far in the game has been the ETC that just fell there. And that will give, despite the fact that Frankfurter's got that early 19%, it is I Must Feed that gets the first protector. So they're going to push this wall first. This is a really early protector, so it doesn't have the most HP. Sylv going to prep the lane up here a little bit. Traditionally, you want to get the top well there. Sorry, there we go. Looks like it's a little bit too early. There's too much push here, so they're not able to get that. Main goal now is don't die when they pop out. And not only are they not going to die, looks like they may get an Orphea kill for just being too aggressive. Nah, makes it out. This is still a relatively low death game. Slight advantage in structures due to that protector. And Deathwing stand bot a little bit extra for I Must Feed. They thought about the turret camp, but it looks like they're going to invade instead. So Sylvanas and Joe already there, able to pump out the damage on Orphea because it looks like Frankfurter's got quite split there for that fight. Half the team was down here, half the team was separated by 5 of them. Still don't have this camp down, but they'll get it in a moment. So we are going to get the 10s first in just a moment from I Must Feed. Let's see what we have. Wailing Arrow, expected. Bellowing Roar. Yeah, when Deathwing was first released, people didn't like it. Over time, I've grown to like it more, actually. I didn't like it either earlier, but especially because this Deathwing is going to be right up in the thick of things. Flailing Swipe from Stukov, Phoenix, good area control, and then Blessed Shield again from Joe. 10 also just reached from Frankfurter, so nothing really happened with the 10s from I Must Feed. It wasn't much of an advantage there. We have Crushing Jaws. Sorry, seeing this fight, we got Blessed Shield. Cataclysm is going to be nullified by the Anduin ult. But Roar is going to let Deathwing escape. So in that whole skirmish, only Misha falls. Poor Misha. And yes, so we saw many of the ults here. So Holy Word Salvation was thrown. Mighty Gust is a big, powerful area control ult. Bestial Wrath, give Misha the extra power, so not going for the big AA slow. And I'm going to sneeze. Okay, I'm back. And then Mosh Pit again from ETC. So we did not see Crushing Jaws there, so we'll see when that comes out. Actually, most of the ults from Frank's Furters were not shown. So the next point has spawned. Looks like Frank's Furters Red is going to get there first. Are they going to get it fully charged? Yes, so they are starting to charge it. All 5 are up. Deathwing is in the air, but we'll be able to land momentarily, especially with Skyfall. So essentially, this is the 5v5. Joe not doing anything here. Positioning, I must be trying to get a kill, and they do manage to chase Orphea off. 13s. Oh, let's see. Spinny Hammers, which we see already from Joe. Extra damage, extra basic attack on Sylv. Increased radius. So Sunken Spray increased radius from Kel'Thas. A lot of times you see ability cooldown here, and that is a powerful one, but I do love me some increased radius too. Especially if Kel'Thas goes Ignite for the next one. These three talents combo really well. Deathwing going extra auto attack damage. And the big one here is what? Cooldown reduction on the stun, but Deathwing hasn't been in that mode very often. And energy reduction on the Q. And then the root from Stukov. So we'll see if Stukov gets any big roots out. Horrify from Deathwing into Cataclysm. Nullified again by Anduin's ult. ETC just barely cancelled by the Stukov silence. Or not Stukov silence, something. Didn't catch one cancelled. Maybe it was. Anyways, Misha, Rexar, ETC, Orphea, Falstad, all falling to I Must Feed. And so the second protector again goes to I Must Feed. Anduin, the only survivor. Deathwing hopping out of the protector and flying instead to get up that last bit of armor. We'll zoom down here. So again, traditionally you'd want the protector to grab the fountain here, so we'll see if that's what they go for. Divine Star again. Faster basic abilities with Tailwind, so faster cooldowns. Misha gets the Burning Rage custom ability. Mic check. So Protector very quickly got the fountain, finished off both towers, and is now going for the keep. They're hopefully going to have a hand to nullify. Oh, they have Sylvanas to nullify it, and the hand. But Protector already took so much damage that they are backing out. Deathwing's coming in, but probably not enough to still really continue this fight. So Frank's Furters loses the wall, but nice defense to able to keep that fort alive. Protector dies, and I Must Feed immediately goes to their turret camp. The 20 seconds still till Frank's Furters is up. We do have both offlaners up top. We do have the support camp up, but first it looks like Frank's Furters is going to try to grab their siege. Second siege camp of the game? I know I Must Feed took one earlier. Orphea down here in a 1v4 to defend this fort. She has support coming. So it will depend on if it's enough. If Sylvanas has her trait, which she does, Sylvanas' trait is a powerful thing.
Blue team it is better.
Just able to burn that fort down for free. Alright. Brief lull, take a look at 16s. Yeah, bonus. So if you're going for Q here, makes sense because this is percent damage. Can wreck Deathwing if you can hit him. Light Wells, we'll see that probably pop up on the points to give extra healing. Reduced activation from Tailwind. Extra movement speed when Rexar does basic attacks. And armor on Power Slide. Skirmish over here, but not too much of a contest with Frankfurters taking that camp. MSV taking the opportunity to take their siege. For 16s, Sylv taking healing. Extra healing from Joe as well. Ignite, that's what we wanted to see from Kael'thas. And are they getting it? Yes, they got it. So Frankfurters evened up the fountains, went hard in for that Joe kill with ETC trying to separate out the team, but it was not enough. Joe's a hard one to kill. And Deathwing coming in from the top though really made that hard. Deathwing taking shield, which makes sense. The other big 16 one that I think is really powerful is so there's reduced damage when you land and a lot of extra Q damage. Or if you have pick again with still nullifying these towers, the key fort. Given the build that Deathwing went, this makes sense though. And Pox Populi, comment on Stukov. So, yeah, Frankfurters has done pretty well so far, but they're going to need to continue to remember that forts won't necessarily give them the defensive advantage. Like, there's a recent patch to give forts more of a defensive advantage, but that's just all gone with Sylv there. Such a powerful hero for sieging. So, third point, aka Con Fiesta point, is up, and blue just gets the channel, so Deathwing is in the air, so we do have right now, it should be a 5v4 here, Sylv going low, but that flailing swipe from Stukov able to save her. And so Misha ult runs out. So a couple ults used in that fight, several also from I Must Feed. So Frankfurters and I Must Feed both down about half their ults, and no kills to show of it. However, looking at the levels, you can see what I Must Feed's plan is. Get 20, get on the point with a 20 advantage. Oof, almost got that Joe. But Joe, you'll check, took Hold Your Ground at level 1, so she's going to have her Unstoppable very frequently. It's just going to be hard to kill Joe ever. And 20s. Blink from Sylvanas. The big stun on Joe. Flamethrower. Destroyer's Rampage. That's a powerful one with this build on Deathwing. Controlled Chaos for the flailing swipe. And yeah. So they're going to have Joe and Deathwing up in the front line, zoning, putting out damage, and Kael'thas and Sylv from preferably far away, really popping out the big damage numbers. Frankfurters, smart move. They got out without any deaths, knowing that they had a 20 disadvantage. Grabs camps. The question, so they're going to try to have their item camp here kind of counteract the 20 disadvantage they've got. So we'll see how it goes. Both Deathwing ults out, or if you're really low in the back line, does fall to Sylvanas. Misha falls to Sylvanas. They were able to chase down Anduin, and Felstad will make it out, but Rexar will not. So unfortunately, the healing item was not quite enough oomph to give I don't know what the dot 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 is. To give Frankfurters that advantage that they wanted. Good attempt, but the 20s were too powerful. So now, Protector going straight onto the keep. Sylve trait used to disable the towers. It looks like it's down, yeah. But the Protector's strong enough to take the keep. With, 20, 30 seconds, there's a good chance his Protector's just going to rip through the core. Unless False Statue doesn't have Gust, I don't see what he's going to be able to do. Yeah. Not quite able to see what the 20s would have been. But that's going to be game 2 over to I Must Feed. With first hero pick again being the winner. It's a powerful option. So given, let's switch over stats. So given the pattern there, I'll say, wouldn't be surprised if Frank's Furters, who now has the option of first hero pick or first map pick, decides to go for hero pick and let I Must Feed pick the map. But we shall see. 1-1 series right now. Both teams really fighting hard to get that first match win of the season. You want to come out the gate strong. So taking a look at these damage numbers, we can see 12-2 with the kills. So much more uneven kills this game than it was last one. Some of these people just really hard to kill on the I Must Feed side there. Damage numbers, looking good for I Must Feed. Sylve, Kale, Deathwing, just really pumping out damage. Plus, that not far behind. But not quite enough from Frank's Furters on the red to really get the kills that they wanted. So we'll see in a moment what. Here's this map pick one first two, and then first pick one the last map. Yeah, I mean, it's not 100% that first hero pick wins. I think it's, in my experience, I think first hero pick is pretty strong. But a lot of it depends on your team. There are maps where you have plans and you don't necessarily need first pick in order to be able to execute what you want to do. And so in that case, you just really hope that they don't start banning out the maps that you like. Just pulling up the talents here so everybody can see a little bit again. I think we missed some of the sevens. We will see momentarily what happens. Before that, I want to do a quick bio break, but I wanted to get into the game first. There we go. All right. All right, so our third game is going to be on Cursed Hollow. And Frank's Furters was able to pick whether they wanted a map or hero, and they did choose hero, which means that I Must Feed decided to go for to Cursed Hollow. And so I will be right back, taking a quick break. Y'all can check out how the maps have worked out. All right, hello, I'm back. We are still in the lobby waiting for the players to all arrive. So no worries. You didn't miss anything exciting. So, this is the second series I've casted this week in NGS, and it is the second series of Go to Game 3, so those are exciting. Um, 1-1 here. Each team going to struggle with all of their might to get this first series victory. Um, Cursed Hollow, which is a nice, fun, big team, a big map, sorry. Uh, so we've seen globals on the first two maps, the Haka and Falstad, from Frank's Furters. This is actually definitely a map where I would expect to see um, globals. It's so huge, and you really just want to be hopping around as much as you can. Like the first game, even though Frankfurters has first pick, they are deciding to ban Zool. It could just be they don't have enough practice. It's certainly hard to get practice with Zool in a draft setting because he's always banned. Garrosh ban again from I Must Feed. They have their plan. um, and it is ban Garrosh. Same bans from Frankfurters. If we see Li Ming, then both teams are, we're banning these heroes because we don't want you to have them, regardless of who's first pick, regardless of what the map is. No Zool, no Tassadar, no Garrosh, no Li Ming. Uh, I mean, hey, both teams have won a series with these bans, so you can argue they're working. So we'll see first pick here. They have prioritized pretty heavily ETC, but hopping on Deathwing, I love it. And so this DJ Cold Cuts is, in the past couple games, has been Frankfurter's offlane player, that's what I'm trying to say. So we will probably see Deathwing in the offlane. Traditionally not what I like personally, but on the flip side, it's a huge map. You need more offlaners. Kel'Thas early on again here, and this time Ana is the healer. So we've had 3 different healers from I Must Feed in 3 different games. We could see healers and tanks here now from Frank's Fritters. Would be surprised to see ETC. Rhaegar. So we do see ETC again. Clearly, Dalian Pig and Frank's Fritters like CTC. Be curious if we see Stage Dive to have that sort of pseudo global from ETC. And then Rhaegar from Indecisive on Frank's Fritters. Again, not a hero that we've seen in the series. Curious if it'll be Bloodlust Rhaegar. We'll have to see. So banning Zul'jin. I must be possibly worried about Bloodlust there. And remembering a strong Zul'jin in game 1 from Frank's Fritters. Third ban over on Frank's Fritters. Could see a tank ban or just more damage. Sylvanas. Yeah, if it was tank, I was going to guess a Joe ban, but Sylvanas was very impactful that last game. She doesn't synergize as well with the objective this game, but is still just strong outside of that. So we get Leo as the main offlaner from I Must Feed, and Greymane, probably a dual purpose there. He's just a strong hero in general, and then also, again, limiting Frank's Fritters if they wanted to go for any sort of Bloodlust comp. Notably leaving their tank for last, I Must Feed is. And Jaina Falstad from Frank's Fritters' last 2 picks. Boggs on Falstad again, and then Magic Master, the mage player, swapping back to Jaina. Magic Master, they got several, like 3+ Ring of Frosts on game 1? Yeah, game 1, where they were Jaina last, yeah.
The crusade
And then we see
calls.
Joe again from John Goodman, the only consistent player on Ima's feed for their hero picks. So this is what we got. Falstad, Deathwing probably off laning on top and bot-ish for Frank's Furters. And then Leo Greymane maybe? Top and bot. Greymane's probably going to be the one that wants to camp. There's a bunch of camps on this map. I would say probably the big thing to watch out for here is going to be Falstad's Mighty Gust. There are 2 bosses on this map, and they're often game deciding. The number, and then Falstad kind of exemplifies that, like the number of games that have been determined by whether or not Falstad gusting off the enemy team off of a boss. Many, many. So looking at the teams then, now let me do this.
The battle begins in 10 seconds.
Oh, there we go. Sorry,
5,
let me
4,
one more time. There we go. All right.
3, 2,
Miles on Greymane, Son of Bears on Lyric, Listerfiend on Kael'thas, Night Knight on Anna, and John Goodman on Johanna for I Must Feed. And then over on Frank's Furters, we have Dalian Pick and ETC, Boggs on Falstad, DJ Cold Cuts on Deathwing, Indecisive on Rhaegar, and Magic Master on Jaina. This is 1v1 for the scores, both teams really wanting this final victory. Mage is clearing out the waves pretty quickly. A little bit extra blue minions here. Oh, I should do that next time. Later. So we do have Kael'thas on the offlane onto Deathwing as opposed to Greymane. So he should be able to get a good amount of poke damage, but if he gets caught, it could be bad. And then Leo versus Falstad down in bot lane. Falstad being a ranged hero is going to be a little bit painful for Leo to fight into. They're taking fealty onto death. It's a good I'm going to be in the lane a long time talent. Viciousness, Mana Addict, common. We could see a full Sleep Dart build from Anna maybe. And then Hold Your Ground again from Joe. Falstad, Gathering Storm this time, which is different from last. We do have a bit of an invade here. We have 3v2 here. So Frank's Furters outnumbered and gonna back out. Pulling in extra heroes. Good invade. They're really going for this, but it's dangerous. Deathwing's gonna be lucky to get out of here too, and he's not. So first blood goes to Falstad from that invade. Second blood to Deathwing, who landed to try to help, but wasn't quite enough. Good aggressive attempt. Didn't quite work out, unfortunately, but they're not very behind in experience. Early kills don't do that much. Red, Frank's Furters already took their giants earlier. Kael'thas going for it now. And then skirmish in the mid because Ima's Feed has these extra knights. Control Shift C to turn off chat in game. Well, I hope that worked. Thank you, Lazy Hydra. Good stuff. Wonder if I'll remember that in the future. We do see first tribute spawning in 10 seconds. Rhaegar still clearing this camp, and he's going to be really low health afterwards. So likely, Frankfurt is just going to give this. Deathwing did land. Yeah, probably a little bit of a miscommunication there. Frankfurters clearly the rest of them planning on giving this. We do see Neil Peasants from Leo, which they did not take last game, but is a lot more common. Game 1, sorry, not take game 1. Leo was banned last game. Sleep Dart, since exposed for extra damage, physical armor, which is just pretty traditional. Stun. Again, big melee build from Deathwing. Melee build from Deathwing is going to be a little bit riskier this game, in that Greymane and Leo are going to be very happy to have Deathwing come up. So Deathwing's going to dive, Greymane and Leo are going to probably attack him, and it's going to be a big race to see basically who can output the most DPS the fastest. We'll see how it goes. It looks like I was hoping for a little bit of a gank here. Did not play out. But human range, willing to drain hope for Leo, extra healing, spread, more sleep dart, and subdue. Over on Frankfurters, increased barrel roll for the shield. Boomerang, yeah, we saw that earlier. That's a fun one. Skyfall, more lightning shield. Reduce, yeah, so hopefully we'll see Rhaegar hopping in and out of wolf form, as he should be normally too. Full Frostwalt build, and Pinball Wizard and Loud Speed, which is pretty common. Just lots of damage going out, healers really struggling. That was a big flame strike almost. And Cataclysm for the first big ult used, only one ult out really, but unfortunately, a lot of damage coming out from I Must Feed. Oh no! Oh man, that was really painful there. The double sleep dart, double shield glare. Joe just coming up with the stuns. 2 deaths there. It looks like Kael'thas is pumping out a good amount of damage. Yeah, Kael'thas topping the damage. Deathwing actually doing more, but not getting the kills. Here we go. First boss attempt of the game. Definitely risky. There's no talent advantage. There's no hero advantage. Question. Frankfurters probably knows, but they're really just in no position right now to invade. In Frankfurters' benefit, the boss is going to be bot, and they want to come bot anyways for the tribute. So they're not going to have split attentions. Honestly, Deathwing needs to get in the air now, though. Deathwing needs to fly. Frankfurters is so close to ults. You know they want it, and there they got it. So Ring of Frost, Mosh Pit, Gust. We do have Bloodlust. And Horrify, Bellerin. Deathwing lands. They're going to need to do a lot more zoning. And they did! It looks like Mosh was interrupted as well. Not the full cooldown though. Okay. That went about as well as Frankfurters could have possibly hoped for. Oh, Jaina is stepping out a little bit too far there. So boss is dead, Fort's still alive, which is good for Frankfurters. Taking a look at the ults from I Must Feed, we do have Bullet, which is 100% expected versus Deathwing. I mean, you just bullet him on cooldown. Phoenix, Nano Boost. Nano Boost we should see on Kael'thas the whole time, every single time. Blessed Shield again from Joe, and then we do have an Entomb from Leo. Leo does want to be careful. Entombing Deathwing sounds tempting. It is often one of those, you're not trapped in here with me, I'm trapped in here with you sort of things. Or the other way. Missed a kill. So looks like ETC, Jaina Rhaegar did manage to get that kill onto Joe, which is impressive. Joe, especially with her level 1 of what, stand your ground, hold your ground, is pretty difficult to kill. So Sleep Dart did hit. Oh, Kel'Thas pops the Phoenix, but it's too late to stall. That's rough. There we go. Alright, so the tributes now are 2-2, with I Must Be taking the first two, but then Frank's Furters taking the next two. Yeah. So the next tribute's going to be a big and Tomb into Life Drain. Yeah, but that's the thing with Deathwing. He can almost always get out. If you have to use Cataclysm to escape, better that than dying. So next tribute is spawning. Rhaegar trying to finish this camp. Lightning Shield definitely helping. But Falstad ETC coming up. I do think if he does not have Dragonflight right now. So gonna have to wait on that. Bush Party. Oh, Bush Party was too much. Was a triple root. Joe was unstoppable for it, looked like. But the double root with the Greymane follow-up. No, yeah. Mixed up teams there a little bit, but that's fine. Horrified did not hit anybody. But in the end there, we did have 3 kills to 2 kills. I did a little bit lose track of that, but that's fine. Which let Frank's Furters take the tribute and have the first curse of the game. Falstad coming down here to collect that XP, and so what Frank's Furters really wants is to just get all the XP. We see lots of pings on Falstad, they're coming down. They see, Falstad knows, and so barrels out of there. ETC gave Falstad that vision, so they're able to escape. And the minions were able to finish it off anyways, so. I see up top, Deathwing quite low, in the air though, and does make it out. He does have Skyfall, he could get some easy XP here. Missing it. Putting it on, I feel like he should have grabbed that XP instead of just putting it on the fort, but helps it get down just that much faster, so. See, Leo getting low, Cataclysm in. Oh, Deathwing's got to be careful, he went too far. Got the Leo kill, but gonna die himself. However, that aggressive posturing meant that with Bloodlust, the rest of the team was able to get 2 more kills as well. So that was a 3-for-1 trade. Deathwing's probably quite happy with that. Also, decent sized wave pushing top, gonna get the fountain, chunk off the keep. Frank's Furters using the advantage of people alive to take this boss, and that'll be pretty much uncontested. So 13s, same cooldown reduction. Oh, yeah, this is a different one from Deathwing. Last time Deathwing took the more auto attack damage. This time taking more slow. It's almost always going to be more slow on the onslaught. Deathwing has not spent much time in Worldbreaker form. Earth Shield. Icy Veins might check. Really just curious about this invade here. Oh, instant sleep, stun, flame strike. Good attempt though. Red, lots of low damage heroes back there, but all of the damage of I Must Feed is not where they need to be for it. So able to kill Leo, even though their health bars are all quite low. Deathwing is out of this fight. So despite the fact that Frank's Furters got 2 kills there, didn't lose anybody, I Must Feed was able to just pump out so much damage that the boss is safe. For now, they go to tap, they're going back into it. It'll be a bit of a race because heroes will be respawning. Leo sees it. Oof, going in was brave on Leo's part. Pulled off 3-4 of them. But unfortunately, I Must Feed is just split. Gonna get the Deathwing kill, Greymane. Also the Falstad. Rhaegar fell too. So it is now 1 for 3 in the opposite direction. 1 for 4 and 5. All of Frank's Furters died there. Despite the good early fight, um, they were still most of them not at full HP, even at the start of that fight from the previous one. They tapped, they were healing up, um, but a little bit low, and then, I don't know, got a bit split. So,
Unacceptable. You shall know
curse
my
over to
curse.
I must feed.
Blue team has destroyed a fort.
Almost disastrous for Frank's Furters. Ah, yes, well. Wait just a few seconds there, Colonel Pants. um, surely I must feed is not going to be going for a win here. Oh no, Falstad getting stuck and Falstad falling. Rhaegar going low. The Bloodlust just not doing as much with Falstad dead.
Hero
And
slain.
boss is almost at full HP. This is going to be a very hard defense. Nigh impossible because they're just not able to get to that boss. They just don't have the pure DPS output that they need. And so, in relatively quick, 15 minutes, not that quick actually, game 3 decided on the boss as expected. Not by the Falstad cost, but curse bosses are strong. Um, yeah, let me switch over to stats. Yeah, so we see I Must Feed taking that series 2-1. Uh, onto blue. Lost the first game, but we're able to win the next two. 15-10, so a lot of kills on both sides. Lots of damage on both sides. I Must Feed having the top damage, but the next two both being Frankfurters. It was a bloody game. It's a bloody game for both sides. But Curse plus Boss is just too strong. Let me flip over and double check. It is Miles, yes. Check for if the I Must Feed winner would like to do an interview. Hello. Had to make sure I last scenario I did you were mute, the other person was muted to start with, so I had to make sure I was not gonna have you muted.
Oh,
Welcome, congratulations.
thank you.
How's it feel to come back with the reverse sweep there?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. Those guys are really good. They gave us fits all last season, so it feels especially good to beat them and to doing the reverse sweep there.
Yeah.
So feels very good.
Um, so one thing I noticed, both of you, both teams, your first two bans, every game from both teams were the same.
Yes,
Is that
I noticed that too.
is that were they targeting you? Because it didn't seem to be relevant to whether you were first pick, second pick, which map it was. But are these
I think they were
targets?
just banning meta,
Mm-hmm.
and we were kind of banning what we don't want to deal with, essentially.
Okay. It was very clear by the third game you didn't want to deal with Garrosh or Li Ming.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, Magic Master, he's a really good player, so
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
basically what that was about.
Yeah. Noticed both teams for the first couple games is not really prioritizing Deathwing. Letting it go through completely in the first drafts and the last round I think in the second one. And then third game, Deathwing, first pick. Were you expecting that?
I thought they might try to grab it because it was so strong for us in the second game,
Mm-hmm.
and he can be a pain to deal with for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I mean, we're comfortable on the counters for him, so I wasn't especially worried about it. I don't think he was an issue for us.
Yeah. So you picked what? BOE and Cursed. You got special plans on
Yep.
those maps, or you just like them?
Yeah, we're just very comfortable on those. We've played them a lot. BOE's normally banned against us, but I didn't think they would ban it because it's one of their best maps too.
Mm.
So
And they did end up winning that one, yeah.
yeah, they did. They definitely
Mhm.
played really well there. We it's almost like we were rusty on it because we haven't played it in so long.
Ah,
Because
okay.
normally people ban it against us. So,
All right.
but
Not used
yeah,
to playing it.
yeah, no. So it was a good game, and then we're really comfortable on Volskaya. You know, came back and won there,
Hmm.
and then closed it out on a map we're comfortable with. So
Hmm. Yeah, that went well.
yeah.
Um, and there's the only person on your team that picked the same hero 3 times as Johanna. So Johanna one trick.
um, no.
Uh-huh. Wing wing.
Uh, why did we prioritize a Jahan? It just was. It's a really strong tank right now in the meta.
For sure, yeah.
I think people maybe undervalue it a little bit, but she does so much working on the front, and her ults are very significant. She wave clear on the tank is huge because most tanks have shit wave clear,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Okay. Um,
she's really strong.
yeah. So after the first game, any depressed thoughts? Did you have to give a pep rally speech? Pep up your team at
Oh,
all? How are you guys feeling after that
I
first
told him
game?
like I told him like yeah, we fell behind and we didn't really were able to pull it out, but we can bounce back here. That's all I really said to them.
All right.
Everyone was pretty much okay.
Okay.
You know, it's the first series, so it's like we're just kind of like let's see what we got. Not really over invested at this point. Just let's get
Okay.
going.
You got any secret plans for the upcoming weeks that you didn't have to showcase today?
They wouldn't be secrets if I just told them in an interview. So
Maybe no one has asked you yet.
it's true. Uh, all our secret plans are still ready. We're saving them for Church of Murky, so watch out, Church of Murky.
Okay. They're the ones that have to watch out. All right. Okay. Any last thoughts on your end? Any call-outs you want to make?
No, just thanks for casting, and just shout out to my team. They all played great. They all responded well. We lost game 1 and we bounced back. Shout out to Frank's Furters too. They're a really good team. I mean, you got to have good competition to force you to get better, and that's what I feel like they did for us. So shout out to them
Cool.
and you for casting.
Yes. All right. Cool. Thank you, and good games
Yeah,
tonight. Good
thanks
luck
a
the
lot.
rest of
Have a
the
good night.
series. Yeah. You too.
Yeah, thanks, Lam. Thanks.
Right. Okay. Um, and that's it for me. Um, thank everybody for watching. Hope you had fun, and see you next time for more exciting NGS games.